Watkins, Dallas Morning News.
No.
PJ Locke, what happened to him yesterday?
Yeah, I was having a great practice, covering down and hyperextended his knee. All tests look great. He will be out today. Get him moving around a little bit with Britt and those guys, but nothing significant.
How did your 2 first-round picks look yesterday in Downs and Malachi?
I thought there was a play that Caleb got beat on in the spring. I showed it to the team, Calvin, where CD got him on a little maneuver route in the slot, and the same route came up yesterday, and Caleb gloved it. And it was to the point that I made about Caleb. He doesn't repeat mistakes. So that was great to see. And then with Malachi, again, I noticed him more yesterday in setting the edge in the run game, using his length than I did as a pass rusher. Obviously, there's halo around the quarterback, so they can't get close anyways. But I did think he did a hell of a job of setting edges, using his length, and kind of creating that knockback that limits running lanes for the offense.
DLLS Cowboys. Dak Prescott, at least we found out yesterday, has a new name for the offense. I think it's the greatest offense there is. Gotti, can you talk about that? Are y'all guided?
Yeah. I mean, that's what they came up with, so that's what we are. And I think they came up with it in Park City. They went out there, did a lot of work together. They did some skiing, some golfing, some things like that. They FaceTimed me in a few times. Most of those guys are terrible golfers. But, this is a player-led group, and I support it.
Let's talk about that excitement of this offense. Clearly, they feel good about what they can do. Obviously, year 2 with calling the plays and stuff. We're just working. Can Dak take another step?
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely. I think, I talked a little bit about, Dak's ability to work, Dak's ability to find his flow and his routine going into year 10, whatever it is. But, another year with George, Fergie, taking another step, Javonte coming back. I mean, a lot of these pieces were new. George was new last year. Javonte was new last year. We as a staff have to do our part with the evolution of the offense. We're working extremely hard on that, knowing that everybody studied us last spring trying to figure out what we're going to be. But yeah, I have a lot of confidence in this group. I'm really excited about watching what the offensive line becomes, because I really do believe they're going to be the key to the evolution, whether that's the tackle competition, Tyler Booker, Cooper Beebe going to year 2 and year 3, and then Tyler Smith continuing to be the great player that he is. It was actually fun for me yesterday watching Tyler Smith and Quinnen Williams go at it, 2 of the better ones in the game. And then I grabbed Beebe after practice, asked him how he felt, and he said, I'm good. He said, going against Kenny Clark and Quinnen Williams every day is going to make me better. So these guys understand that the concept of iron sharpens iron, but the offensive line is going to be key to what we want to do offensively.
I'm sure with the athletic, understanding it was only a practice without pads on that. Anything that particularly that you liked or didn't like from it yesterday?
Yeah, I thought we got some great screen work. I mean, that's something that we really want to work on both offensively and defensively, some of the recognition and stuff. I thought that was great. I thought the communication in the run game, John, was awesome from the offensive line. The defense has given us some really good looks. I thought that was great. I thought that, the overall effort was a little bit inconsistent. They're getting their legs up underneath them. I get that. I showed some clips today of the standard, and then showed some clips today of what's not the standard. And so anxious to see how that looks. And then the other thing I would say is, great punch out by Rashawn Gary. So the ball security aspect continues to grow. I told those guys on defense this morning, sitting in the meeting, I said, you guys make us better by doing that. So we call them shots on ball. There were some great shots on ball, and a few pre-snap penalties on offense. You'll see us working some silent cadence stuff today. But, first day, some good, some bad. A lot of things to clean up.
Again, no pads on, but nice run from Jaden Blue, got out in space.
Yeah.
What are you seeing from him?
Well, number one, was really well blocked. It was a fire zone, and the offensive line kind of picked it up. They saw it coming and picked it up, which is a big part of it. Anytime you run a fire zone and people are moving laterally, you create running lanes. And what I loved about the run itself was Jaden's pace to the hole and then through the hole. And we know what type of speed he has. I mean, so it was good to see. We did get on him a little bit about celebrating. We call it logos and letters. Make sure you get in the end zone, pass the logos to the letters before you celebrate. But he had a really, really good day yesterday. I thought he had a great practice. I thought Joe Milton had a great practice. And then, Jalen Thompson showed up all over the film yesterday. So a lot of really, really good things. Donovan Ezeraku, awesome. Welcome back. We just really looked like we thought he would look going into year 2.
Nick Harris, four-star Telegram. Jalen Thompson's one of the ones I wanted to expound upon. Just seeing his speed on the field. It's the first time you've seen him in these team periods. You got what you thought you did so far?
Yeah. I think we knew that, Nick, but again, you look at the player, it jumps off the film, then you look at the person, and you see why he's that way. And I think he said today he's going into year 8, I think. Hook's year 10, I think JT is year 8. When your best players practice that way, that's usually the standard for success, because all the young guys are trying to still figure it out, which they are. The young guys are still trying to figure it out. They see that, they replicate that, and then you've got a bunch of guys practicing that way.
And obviously, you like the Gary punch-out on the flip side, the coaching point to Phil Maffa, and how do you see him respond to
Actually, Phil really had the ball. We call it head, body, tail. He did a really good job. Iron cross, another way people referred to it. He was doing it right. It was just a very explosive, powerful, great intent by Rashawn. And I thought Phil had a really good day yesterday as well.
Tommy Yarsh, DallasCowboys.com. Some of the guys that were sidelined during the spring, Donovan, Duran, Bland, how did they come out yesterday physically?
Yeah, they all feel really good. I thought, I've already mentioned Easy. I thought Duran, his instincts, reading 3-step, things like that was really, really good. Looked very comfortable. The thing I'm really proud of, if you watch and you look at the catapult numbers, the way our defensive secondary ran to the ball, we had, I think, every guy get over 19 or something miles an hour. I mean, they were hauling ass. That's a testament to, Derek Ansley, Ryan Smith, Rob Muschamp, CP. I mean, they were running to the ball, and, it's important.
And talk about evolving the offense. Javonte in his past has been more involved in other offenses in the passing game. Is getting your running backs involved in the passing game more a wrinkle that you'd like to add this year?
Yeah, I think so. I think we know Javonte can do it. I think, what we feel like we have in Jaden. When you're playing defenses that are trying to change the math and cheat to really elite receivers, which we have, there's usually a favorable matchup in that regard. What that looks like, we're still seeing. I mean, we've got ideas and scheme and plays, but at the end of the day, what are we good at? What do we like? What do we own? What do we not care if what they're in? But yes, that would be part of the evolution.
Joe Hoyt, Dallas Morning News. Speaking of the evolution, Dak Prescott's been really good on seam passes throughout his entire career. Last year, anecdotally, it felt like maybe it wasn't to the same level as previously. I don't know if you agree with that or not. How do you kind of take advantage of the seams, again, going into this season?
Again, you guys probably have numbers, so I'm not going to say it's not. I didn't feel that way. I mean, I think the first one that pops up, there's really 2 that pop up. We missed Fergie in the season opener on a vertical 3x1 seam. Dak kind of overthrew it. And Fergie couldn't put under through that one. And then the other one I'm thinking about is against the Jets. We had another one where they were kind of in third down exotics. They were mugged up, and Fergie got down the middle, and Dak missed that one. So there's some big plays in cover, in the seams. I mean, we had one against Carolina call back. Fergie thought he got his feet down. He didn't. I'd love for people to give us seam throws. That'd be great. But I also know that that's something teams are trying to take away from us.
Brevin Spanford, obviously, you guys have been really excited about him. What excites you about him, and I guess what have you seen from his potential over the last few years that would suggest?
Yeah, you'd be remiss if you didn't mention Brevin's play style. One, the physicality that he plays with, the wiring that he has, just tough physical football player that loves the physical aspect of the game. Can be dominant in the run game and protection phase, but what he's developing from a pass receiving standpoint at the top of the route, the tight turns, the power cuts, things like that, that's where I've noticed the biggest gain. And he's a big target. You got a guy working the middle of the field. He's a big target. And he's actually a lot better run after catch guy than you think. Think back to Chicago, Chicago game late. And so I think as he continues to stack and improve that area of his game, it just adds so much value to our tight end room.
Coach Patrick Walker at DallasCowboys.com. You kind of touched on Malik Hooker a little bit earlier. How critical was it to, keep Hooker on staff or on the roster, despite having added Jalen Thompson and ultimately adding Caleb Downs, kind of giving you guys not only an impactful 3-man rotation at safety, but also the ability to run through the safety set?
Yeah, for sure. Well, the flexibility that JT gives us, being able to play inside in the nickels before you get a guy like Caleb Downs. Our safety room is stacked, quite honestly. The guy that was flying around yesterday, that I'd be remiss, is Elijah Clark. I mean, this guy was all over the field, taking shots on the ball, moving fast. But, Hook is such a good communicator. you know, Hook loves the X's and O's part of the game. Like, I mean, I would bet he probably has hundreds, 50 notebooks of all the different things. I mean, he loves the chess match that there is. And so his ability to communicate, his ability to understand what we're doing, his ability to tie things together for us back there, I think is huge. And he's very, very good fit for this defensive style that we're playing.
Michael Coleman, KLTV, East Texas. Good seeing you at the Marvion's wedding.
Yes, sir.
A couple months ago.
Yes, sir. It's a fun time.
Healthy, bland, and overshown. How lit can this defense be with them both on the field at the same time?
Yeah, again, I think I've talked a lot about how excited I am about this defense. And again, the scheme's cool, but it's not the scheme that brings it to life, right? It's the players. And you just mentioned two of those guys with Duran and Demo and some of the additions that we've brought in here. Kobe Durant, I mean, what a good football player. I mean, Donovan Ezaraku going into year two. We're excited about Malachi Lawrence. Shamar James going into year two. Another guy had a great day yesterday was Barham. I mean, you watch Barham. I mean, even playing for a rookie, playing in helmets only, but the ability to block, destruct, and get off blocks and things like that. It's a heavy-handed guy that, you know, we love the versatility of him to be on and off the ball, stuff like that. So I'm so excited to see what this defense is going to do this year.
Christy Scales, Cowboys Radio, 105.3 The Fan. Back during camp and talking about the competition at left tackle, you said that you were going to give each guy a day rather than sharing within series or series to series. Is that the plan here, or is it going to be more, you talked yesterday about 4-day increments?
Yeah, with the 4-day cycle, Chris, we've talked about that, and we've kind of gone back and forth. We're going to give those guys more of a 4-day cycle. So you'll see Guyton out there again today at left tackle for a couple days. Why is that? Well, I mean, guys have bad practices from time to time. They have great practices, but it doesn't show you the full scope of what they're doing. So we're going to go 4-day cycles. I want to mention Drew Shelton. You know, he's playing right tackle yesterday. He's going to be a swing tackle potential guy for us, but he was outstanding for a rookie in his first NFL practice. The poise and the way he feels the game and the way he thinks. We've got talented pieces. We just got to get those guys playing consistently like I talked about yesterday, and it'll be a fun battle for those guys to compete in and for you guys to watch.
Excuse me, just to follow up on that, is that on the defensive side of the ball as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, they're a little bit more of a move pieces a little bit by day, like Caleb's down, okay, JT's back, JT's down, Caleb's back, things like that. But we're not real big into 1 day at a time. Now, we'll do that with the quarterbacks. You know, like Sam will work more with the twos today, and Joe will get the rest. Different. Yesterday, Joe got most of the twos, and Sam got the reps. But it's a little bit different by position.
Hey, Coach, Nicole Hutchison, DallasCowboys.com. Talking about Ryan Flanoy, it looks like he kind of put on some muscle mass. Was that a conversation that maybe you had this offseason for him, maybe a point of emphasis, and what are you looking for after him in year 3?
Yeah, can't wait. I thought he had a really good day yesterday. I think it's just the work ethic of the guy is incredible. Another offseason award winner. I think it's more of a fact of him knowing his body, being in year 3, working with Harold Nash, you know, Kendall, Braylon, Cedric, those guys in the weight room, and kind of knowing what he wants. And then as you grow up, you start, you know, I haven't quite figured it out yet, but you figure out your diet, you figure out what you're putting in your body, things like that. I just think he, you know, he's ready for a huge, huge step this year. And he was fed a lot of confidence last year, as you guys know. Detroit, you know, the Jets. I mean, he knows he belongs. He knows he's a really, really good football player.
How does Drew Shelton factor into this mix when you start stacking the tackles together?
Yeah, well, again, he's not going to get as many reps as the other guys till you get to probably preseason. So he's just got to trust the process, Nick, take it 1 day at a time. And, you know, he's a guy that, again, played on the left. Now he's playing on the right. You know, sometimes we're going to move the guys to the left without them even knowing, because that's what happens in a game. You're like, hey, guess what? You're left tackle. I mean, so that's real. But he just needs to keep stacking days. If he keeps doing what he did yesterday, then he's going to get more and more ops.
When it comes to Mike linebacker, do you need to see him in a preseason game or even the scrimmages before you can get that full, real evaluation of what you got there? Because there's so much communication at that spot.
Yeah, the answer is no. We get plenty of reps out here. Speaking of that, like there was a really cool situation that came up yesterday where CP was trying to make Demo think that the headset went out. It didn't go out. We had kind of talked about it and scripted it, and Demo got to the exact call that he was supposed to, which is what you expect. So it was not a malfunction of the headset. It was something scripted, and Demo was outstanding getting us lined up into the call that we wanted to be in.
Coach Michelle Monson, WFA, just said a little bit ago you're really, really excited to see what this defense is going to do this year. How does that excitement compare to maybe how you felt this time a year ago?
I'm always excited. You know, I just love what I do. I love coaching these young men. But I think, you know, when you think back on it, you know, I mean, the defense obviously took, you know, the brunt of the criticism. I put myself right at the top of that heap as the head coach. But I think I'm excited because of how hard these guys are working, all the changes that we've made, you know. But, you know, we haven't done anything yet, and we need to do it. And as a football team, you need to be really good in all three phases, and that's what we hope we become, because we think that if we're strong in all three phases, we'll be a tough out.